Hi, I'm here. It's time for the Boss Club live. Oh, look, I haven't turned my little light on. Look at the difference. She's so bright now. She's so bright. Thanks for joining us, the Boss Club live. We're going to be talking to Aimeé Felone. She is part of the publishing company Knights Of, who published my book. So I'm kind of going to be talking to a sort of boss of mine about being a boss. So lots of fun. All sorts can happen. Thanks for joining. As always, if you have... I'm out of breath because I just ran up the stairs. I was like trying to make a drink. Just water, you know, living my life. Ran up the stairs. And that's the most exercise I do nowadays. So sorry we're a little bit late, but thanks you all for joining. We're going to be talking being a boss with, as I mentioned, sort of my boss. If you have any questions, as always, put them in the comments. If you have any compliments, they're always very welcome at the beginning of the live. So this is my new cardigan that I haven't shown you yet. This is the latest in my knitting extravaganza. So bright yellow. Oh, people are doing the hearts. Thanks. Hello. Hi, Sarah. Hi, Christopher. So I'm previewing the new cardi for Aimeé, specifically for her. Okay, let's see if we've got her. Her beautiful face to talk Boss Club times. Got earrings on and everything. Oh, people, my jumper's cool. Thanks. Hi.
Hi.
Here she is.
I'm laughing at the fact that you called me sort of kind of your boss.
I can't hear you.
You can't hear me?
No. Can you hear me?
I can hear you perfectly. Well, you can't obviously hear what I'm saying. Hold on, let me take these out.
Better? We can't hear each other.
Can you hear me now?
Can you...
Hold on.
Is it me? Oh my God, do you know what it is?
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. Do you know what it was?
I don't like it.
No, it's not your AirPods. It's that I had my Bluetooth on, so you were speaking through my hearing aid, which I took out earlier because I was putting my earrings on and forgot to put back on. So my cat downstairs was hearing your lovely voice through my hearing aid. But
It'll be like
yeah, the cat's gonna be like,
random person in the house.
So Aimeé Felone, hello.
Hi.
Thanks so much for joining me on the Boss Club. You're so welcome.
I was saying, I was laughing when I heard you say, my kind of boss?
Yeah, because it's like, well, you obviously are co-founded Knights Of, who are a publisher, an amazing publishing house. You should check them out if you don't know them. And they do lots of brilliant children's books. And you published one of my children's books. So I was like, I'm kind of talking to a kind of boss.
Nah. We run a flat company. There are no bosses.
Okay. Good, because, you know, I don't want to be told off in this live. I'm sorry, the boss.
Not at all.
So what does that mean to you, the word boss? Because obviously we started talking about you as a part of the publishing company.
Well, I guess a boss is a role that I've grown into. And it's something that I'm probably still growing into every day. It's not a role that I take on lightly. I know that my position, especially as like co-founder of a publishing house, Black woman, and children's publishing, very rare. So in that aspect, I'm not gladly take it. But in terms of I don't know, the day-to-day, the hierarchy, I guess, which is associated with a boss, I don't put that. If that is to answer your question.
Yeah, but that's interesting, I think. What's it like, kind of co-founding a publishing house, you, as you said, as a Black woman in children's publishing, which is very rare? Do you think that affects your working life?
Yeah, definitely.
Like, do you find, because I have a social media marketing company, and I started it like 10 years ago, so I was like 23, and I always found that when I went into meetings, people sort of looked me up and down and were like,
what your...
I definitely got it when I started, like when we bought the company. Everyone was like, "Oh my God, you're so young. How old are you?" And that was a question I answered because I don't think my anything to do with anything. It definitely depends on which type of room I'm in. If I'm in a white room, you may find, and it also depends on why I'm in the room. If I'm in the room, pitch our books, people now listen to me in a way they probably did when we first launched. If I'm in a room to suggest how to do things better, people's ears might be closed a little more. It definitely depends on who's around the table.
And how have you, I mean, obviously I'm come from a privileged position of, you know, being a white person, but I can definitely relate to the woman side of things as a boss when people don't take you seriously. But how have you dealt with that in your career, and do you deal with it differently now? Do you try and ignore it, or do you know, face it head on and broach it?
Children's publishing, so women heavy. It's all the lovely, nice women. I would say those are normal terms that are used for kids publishing. Like lovely, nice women. But being a woman in publishing isn't actually that rare. But I think when you get to the high levels, that's super rare. So I kind of just push forward with it. I think Leo is really uniquely placed because we are doing the work, have been doing the work, don't have like a courageous backlist that we're trying to hide in a cupboard and things. We can just be quite open about who we are, do not have to feel like we're seeking validation from anybody else. So I think my confidence definitely grew once I left work, but I don't really listen. You know what I mean? In that kind of way where it's like if somebody else is questioning or seeking to call us out for something that we're not doing. I'm always open to criticism, but if they're pointing to us in a way that they're trying to make us look bad for no real reason, goodbye.
I like that. Bye. And so what's the difference for you? Because obviously you've worked in publishing for a while, but then obviously you're co-founder of Knights Of. So how did you go from like working for another people in a bigger company to setting up your own?
In silence. At the time. I left my job. And I was like, "Why? You look so happy here." Massive front that I was putting on. Microaggressions daily. Trying to deal with a structure that was trying to change, but was too deep to change. I left my job in a I need to get out type of way. You know, and so when we launched I forgot the question.
Oh, just how did you go from like, you know, working in a bigger company to setting up your own? Yeah.
We did it a lot inside. It was probably like 6 months with David and I working together, telling everyone what we were doing, just trying to put the structure and the schedule of what KO idealistically be. We put a 5-year together of where we would hope to be, the things we would hope to achieve, the conversations we'd hope we won't be having anymore. And knocked on a lot of doors for investment. I feel like money isn't something that people ever really talk about. And they're like, "Oh, you have a company and the books get made and you hire people." And it's like, with money from investors. So we went and knocked on people's doors. Only had one really awkward room where somebody just didn't talk to me at all. Didn't look at me, didn't reference me, and that meeting was quite hard. Straight all the day, you could tell like I was very uncomfortable, and they even came back to us and like, yeah, it's not gonna work for us really. There were just some internal things that we wouldn't feel aligned to. Just like goodbye. Again, you know, you don't need to work with me if you're going to literally count 50% of the brains behind the company. So knocked a lot of doors, found investment. Fortunately, a lot of people had open ears what we were doing, saw why it was necessary, and then went from there.
Cool. So sorry, someone said they're getting a bit of feedback from you, Amy, but I can't hear it. But I told you I'd taken my hearing aid out, so I think you sound fine. But if anyone else is getting, maybe we should put the headphones back in, because it was my fault that they didn't work in the first place, because the sound was playing through my hearing aids. It sounds the same to me, but we'll get feedback now. Yeah, well, there we go. We'll get feedback from other people as we go. You sound wonderful to me. So, So we talked a bit about work there, and I think your obviously the job side of things will come up more. But how? Because I always invite people on that I think are bossing it. I say. So, what do you think bossing it means to you?
Being authentic.
Being authentic.
Can you still see me?
Can you still see me?
Yeah, I can still see you.
I can hear myself now.
I can hear myself now.
Oh well, we can't hear any. I can't hear any feedback now. That is different, I think.
Well,
I love all this technical stuff.
They can. Anyway, let's carry on.
Yeah, let's carry on. Let us know if the feedback's gone, and do the little hearty thing, because I love that one. Yeah, so how
it's being authentic. It's just knowing what your purpose is and fulfilling it to the best of your ability, and also bringing people in areas that you know you have weaknesses. I think it's really like bossing it. That is knowing where you're not able to work with others and bringing those people in.
I like that. So do you think? Well, we can still hear an echo. I'm sorry about the sound, but the meaning is important. I think is more important than the sound. And I guess it's just like living with tinnitus, which I do. I have 2 types, so we're just bringing that awareness. So, with being authentic, do you think you can? I think it's interesting that you say bossing it is being authentic. Do you think you're authentic?
I'm more
authentic than I used to be.
I think there are still different versions of it. There's a version of me that's here on my TV. There's a version that will be when I switch this off. There's the home version.
There's the home version, the friends version,
the work
version, the work version. But I think there's a voice that I don't use anymore when it comes to work that I used to use a lot of
when I would be on panels.
When I would be on panels or speaking to certain people, I think
I just
am
more myself now than I used to be.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
I think
weirdly,
it's hard though because you have all these expectations of what does that person who's looking at me expect me to sound like, and it's a journey to definitely shake all of that off, and who I'm going to be, irrespective of what you think you want me to be.
I think I'm definitely trying to be more authentic, and weirdly, I think getting divorced has made me more authentic, because I've gone through this like weirdly like traumatic thing where I went a bit crazy for a while, but like in a fun way. And actually it's brought me back to me a little bit more. Do you think you had a time that specifically made you, because you said you're trying to be and you're more than you used to be, was there an event that changed things for you?
I don't think it was one specific moment, but more the realization that people are listening to me because they realise I have something to say, and it's only really going to work if I'm being honest. You know, a lot of people. I would be in rooms, for example, where I was very rocking the boat, or saying something that might make other people feel uncomfortable. And when I just got to the point where I was like, I need to say it because nobody else in the room is going to say it. And I remember someone told me, if not you, then who? You know, and I don't want to opportunity where I could have spoken up, not just myself, but others, and then just abuse it.
Yeah, I mean, lots of people agreeing. Someone said life experiences make more authentic. And I think it's true. I totally agree with what you say, you know, of those moments when you're like, should I just leave it, or should it do, you know? And I think sometimes it is difficult I don't know about you, but when I, face sort of accessibility issues with my hearing aid or deafness, I do feel like, do I have to say something again? Like, and sometimes it does feel like the burden is on the person who, to educate. How do you deal with that? And sometimes you like, I'm not going to do it because I can't keep doing the same thing.
So in a publishing context, it's tricky because a lot of the industry now is saying where views that one spoken about before, and there may be institutional racism or bias and all of that. So on one hand, I'm like, I shouldn't have because everyone is saying that everyone is working towards being better. But for example, the team had to send a letter. Well, not a letter, like formal email to a company calling out their transphobia. So it's like we're all saying we're doing the work. But are we really? You know? And if we don't say something, if I don't say something, in those instances, then I feel that's a lot. But if I'm constantly looked at that answer question, which you claim to be. At some point, I've got to be like, we've had this conversation. You're not actually doing anything. We're gonna leave that. Or you need to work out how to rectify that. I'm not a consultant for your company.
Yeah, it's such a hard area. Like, I constantly feel like, with like deaf accessibility and things like that, when people just, like, I was sent an agenda recently of people talking on an event, and it was about deaf accessibility, and the two deaf people, of which I classed myself one, but I use a hearing aid, and the other one was a BSL speaker. We were only listed by our first name, whereas everyone else on the list had like full name and title. And I don't think it was done in a mean way, but I sort of felt like I had to say, it does look a bit off.
Was that intentional? Why was that done?
Yeah, but sometimes I feel, I worry that I'm being the difficult one all the time, and that they're going to be like, here we go, it's Sam.
It's good to be difficult, change seeing that is difficult. I have no problem with pulling people out. Or raising their awareness of things that maybe they've overlooked. Let's not say calling out. No, I don't worry about being difficult. I have to think about the space I'm making now that will make it easier for like future decisions. And so I think that conversations in the space I'm building will hopefully make a younger generation after me walk into doors where I literally had to be like knocking and couldn't get them open to. So I often have that as well. Like, let's just try and make it easier for those that are coming after us. It's the kids publishing me.
I want to take some of your confidence and be like, yes, I'm going to challenge things. So I'm always like, oh no, I don't want people to hate it. And so how do you deal with like your normal life outside of work? How do you boss it in normal life? How do you be authentic when you're like going to the shops and hanging out and talking to friends?
Taking time for treating myself, and I think my own personal love language to myself is gift giving. I love my things. I like extensive sock collection and have
socks.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Didn't expect it. Loving it.
I have a very large range. My friends will say she spends way too much money on a single pair of socks. If they're by designer I like, if they are on colour I like, it brings me joy, as they would say. I will do that for myself. So
I want to delve into the socks. What's the most amount of money you've spent on a pair of socks? I'm very excited.
Only £50.
£50 on one pair?
I don't think that's
I don't think that's
bad.
that bad.
That is impressive. What were they made of? Gold.
Just regular cotton,
But it was by design of really light, and so it is lovely. It's nice and bright and colourful.
I put them on,
And they make me feel.
especially being at home all the time.
I
have not been
this dressed
in a very long time. Normally I'm in like jogging bottoms. That's how the team sees me every day on Zoom. So it feels nice to like put something that makes you feel a bit like your normal self.
That's why I started doing the Boss Club during lockdown. So I was like, I just
I
need
felt like I was going
somewhere
before I came on it.
So it's great.
Yeah. Like, I needed to put a bra on every now and again.
Oh, well, I'm not an avid bra.
Not an avid bra wearer.
An advocate.
Everyone's not wear them, but
it makes you feel
nice.
Yeah, it makes me feel better because my bosoms are quite large. I sort of having the lift just lifts
makes you feel
like we're doing something.
Yeah, I enjoy it. I'm like, my boobs are here and they're up and I'm ready to go.
We're going out.
Yeah.
So yeah, giving for myself is a big thing. And then I have, if you can't tell, quite a few plant friends. I definitely became a plant mom over lockdown. I have about 50.
15. Are they all alive? I kill certain
the
types.
corner is struggling.
Don't look at it too much. The leaf might just drop off.
But everybody else is doing fine.
What is it about plants then during lockdown that you've enjoyed? Is it the looking after them?
Yeah, it's the looking after.
It's the attention
to them. I do talk to them as well. Watching them grow. So even though they all kind of physically start, seeing something that is still growing and flourishing, quite encouraging as well. It's like the whole ritual. Watering them, cooking them, misting them, taking them in the bathroom with me so they get a nice steam set. I'd like to do that.
I love it. I love that you work in children's publishing and your plants are like your children.
Oh,
if only there was a publishing world for books for plants.
That's a whole thing. Let's pick that up.
Yeah. Do you ever read stories to your plants?
I don't.
I'm not there yet.
I'm not quite there. If we hopefully not have to do another lockdown, I'll probably be there.
Yeah. Okay. We'll do another live if we have another lockdown, just to watch you read to your plants.
What else do I do?
You do the walking. Oh, sewing.
Yeah, I picked up something again. I used to do it as a kid, actually.
Cross stitch.
Yeah.
I knit extensively and
so I picked up cross
stitch again as well.
I like the physical routine of something that you get into. Love that.
Yeah, it really helps with my anxiety as well, because when I'm anxious, I scratch my face and pick all my spots and stuff. So if I have something to do with my hands, like knitting,
gets us out your head. Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah.
And so we've talked about you being a boss at work and in your private life, but have you had any amazing bosses previously in your life, or any awful bosses, and what have you learned from them?
Amazing bosses.
It's fine if you haven't had any amazing ones. Few of us have.
I will say I've had amazing when we announced like get in touch with me and in a mentor way, not an official way, but just reach out to me and say, if you need me, I'm here. I've been doing that. I've been shouting about what you're shouting about for decades. And a lot of them reached out to me in the beginning and for coffee. And they were offered like business advice, but a lot of what they said was take time, rest. Doing this work is a good thing. You will get tired and burn out. And I think it was really nice that before we actually launched Video, those women were like, we're here if you need older, much older. So not nice bosses, but lovely mentors in an unofficial way that kind of like, we're here if you need that.
I love that. And have you had any bad bosses? You don't have to name and shame them, but why were they bad?
Bad bosses. Yes. For inattentive, I would say. I think a lot of as a boss is making sure that the people in my team are growing, and that they're getting to do what they want to do and half the career they want to cut. And create the space they want to create, especially in this industry, to the fullest of their potential. And I feel as though I missed a lot of that. And despite asking for it, was never afforded it. So I will say that. But I've also worked used to work at the National Marathon. I used to work at a cafe. Big Greenwich.
Yeah.
For a big museum. Big Greenwich.
Sure.
I wonder what that might be.
So many of those.
So many of them. And worked full hours. Like 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. For a lot of tourists. And I had this one incident where somebody came up to me and was like, you made me a coffee, and it doesn't look like the picture on the wall. And I was like, it's busy. It's summer, peak season. The queue is going out. And this guy comes up and like, my coffee doesn't look like the picture. I want to speak to your boss. Boss comes over. Make it again. Make it look like the picture. And I was just like, we're really gonna do this.
My coffee doesn't look like the picture is the weirdest.
He was like the latte,
yeah, with like a
swan and whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, what?
You're like, does it taste like coffee? Good, then off you go.
But my boss was like, no, do it. And I had other instances where I got like injured, and she was like, I'll see you in work tomorrow. I was like, no. My ankle is hurting. And she was, yeah.
Wow.
Not a great job.
Well, it sounds like you're becoming the boss that you always wanted.
Yeah.
Well,
I hope so.
Yeah, which is a lovely thing. And I think you mentioned about your mentors before. If anyone watches this and they're setting up their own business or they've just done it, because loads of people have in lockdown, like, you know, created new companies and stuff. What advice would you give them now running a successful publishing house?
Have that one line really clear, so that when people ask you why are you doing, have your why really clear, and know that even if the climate changes, or if you feel there's no demand for doing why you want to do it, still like immovable. And then I think it's good to have other people, other companies in mind that you're trying to emulate. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. A lot of people are like, you have to have this really super unique idea. But I always think there's space for more. Right? And so even us as an inclusive publisher, there was nothing stopping anyone from doing exactly what we're doing. And us both sharing space in the market. I truly believe there is space for all of us. We just have to find ways to tap into our audiences, our communities, people that we want to sell to, the people that we want to engage with. And then if you do need money, there are definitely places to go to. I'm talking council, I'm talking project grants, bank if you have to. There is money if it's not knowing where to do it, but it's out there.
I think that's really useful to know, because you know, you said earlier people don't really talk about money, and it's so true. And in one of my other boss clubs, we talk about money and, you know, knowing your worth and asking for more money. And I think it is something that especially, you know, being brought up in the UK, we're sort of told it's a dirty thing.
Dirty topic.
Yeah. But actually you need to know, because how are you gonna, you know, get on in business?
Salary isn't spoken about. Where to find investment is spoken about. Handle it so you get it, so you don't lose it. Spoken about. Make yourself money smart as much as possible.
And what's your sort of 5-year boss plan? So I've invited you on because I think you're bossing it now in all areas. But do you have a even further bossing it plan?
Yeah, I have a. Obviously, everyone's at home.
At home at the moment.
Concept of an office
That's gone out the window.
But I have
always had this picture
in
my mind of what
AO Towers
would look like.
And
every day I'm just trying to get us
to that place.
And it's not just the physical building,
but it's also
the sense that we would have grown
with the
team,
how
departments with us would have grown,
how maybe hopefully my
focus will be less prominent,
and other people
will step up
to
become the face of AO.
That's like an
if I have really
in my head, and I'm just trying to get
that.
I love that. And will it be actual towers?
Yes.
Just several towers that spell out Knights Of. I love it.
I can't put it out for you. But
it's in here.
Okay. You know.
I know.
Yeah. And any advice to anyone watching and being like, oh my God, she's such a boss. How can I be more like her?
Find the things you love, and don't be ashamed of loving them about. Me and my socks. For example. I love my socks. I've not shaved. I spent thousands of pairs. I'm not ashamed. I have a full drawer for them in a range of colours. I love them out loud. We'll talk about them. At any given opportunity, apparently. So find that thing that you love, that thing that you're really passionate about. And even if you're not loving it about others, love it out first. Create space to love it. And if you feel like you want to share with others, see that as a privilege that you're giving to them. You know, like you're sharing. Something super special with yourself. Something super special with others. You're giving them that. If you want to.
Loving out loud is such a great phrase. I'm into it. That's so good. I want to stitch it on an embroidery hoop or something.
Do a whole collab.
Yeah, couldn't we? KO embroidery. The new offshoot.
That and the dance stories.
Yes, and I just want to say I love how much you love socks. Like your face just lights up when you mention them. I want you to do like an Instagram story of all your socks.
There was a point where I pitched my friends I would start a whole sock account, and I got really shot down. And since then I haven't felt confident enough to do it. But I feel like this is giving me that little extra energy.
This is your sock moment. I can't wait to follow your sock account. Please share it with the world.
I could even
get
someone to make socks that are in your book. Right?
Oh my God. Yeah, Sock Munchers socks. They're knitted, and I have tried to knit socks in my knitting extravaganza, but the heel is very difficult.
Tricky.
Yeah, but I'm sure you can find an expert in your sock knowledge. Amy, thank you so much. This has been such a fun chat. Obviously, everyone should follow you, and also Knights Of as well, which is a company we've been talking about.
Thanks for making me get dressed.
Same. Yeah, I know.
It was great.
Thanks so much.
Yeah.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.